Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Evil Dragon. Welcome back to ApexOnlineRacing. I'm going to say this, we're in a very sunny, beautiful circuit. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Joining me once again, by the way, is my beautiful accomplice. It's my companion for the season. It is the one and only, it's Miss Jess. Say hello, Jess.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to New Zealand in Ruapuna Park. Like Evil said, it is really sunny at the moment, and this is the circuit where it's going to play host to a 90-minute race. We had our sprint and feature race last week, and tonight we will see the drivers take to the track for the first time for a full 90 minutes. So the difference is there's no qualifying, but it's going to be starting with reverse grids. So the people that have started all the races this season, they will be reversed, and then obviously Jazzman, who retired the last few races, obviously he'll be starting at the back, but everyone else is reserved, is in reverse order, not reserved, reverse grid order. What are you on about, Jess? But it should be an exciting one to see if the ones that are usually at the back of the field start on pole this week, and hopefully they can become consistent.
Indeed. Well, a circuit which is often going to be renowned as an old school type of circuit. We were old school last week. This week, still old school, but Jess, what are you expecting from this race?
Well, I expect a lot of concentration from these drivers. It's going to be a lot trickier than obviously the last few weeks, because obviously they got to get used to how much fuel they got to put in the tank a bit more. They got to focus on tyre saving. They got to focus on everything really at the moment. But since it's actually going to be quite nice, they don't have to worry about tyre temperature. So the track we are on now is actually in a village northwest of Blenheim in New Zealand, which there's a river there which flows past the north, which is the Waru River, and it's actually the MyPro Motorsport Park, which is originally called, and it's owned by the Canterbury Car Club, which I thought it was in Canterbury, Kent, but it wasn't. And it was opened in 1963, and has lots of other features, doesn't it, Evil?
Yeah, circuit was redeveloped in 1993. Fun fact, it's only about 200-300 metres away from Christchurch County Prison. So if any of you drivers are naughty, we can take them there. Later on, beat them if they're not very good. Some very beautiful corner names. We'll get into that later on. But Jess, we've got a beautiful hot lap to go on board with it, don't we?
Yes, we do. The last few weeks we had hot laps from Jazzman, but this week we're going to go with someone different, and it is from one of our drivers, VSR Rotary, as he's going to take you on board around this lovely circuit in New Zealand.
Hello, my name is VSR Rotary. I'm going to take you a lap around Ruapuna Park. So Ruapuna Park's in New Zealand. It's a relatively small circuit, especially for these GT3 cars, doing about 1 minute 19s, even with heavy fuel loads. Now we're going into turn 1. This braking zone is very crucial. Straight line braking, bring it over to the right, because we want to open up turn 1 as much as possible so we can get on the power nice and early, use a bit of the concrete run off there. Now into turn 2, down a gear, clip the inside curb, bring it back over to the right as we go over that little crest, go into gear 4. You see the little stick thing there? Use that as a braking point. I like to open up this hairpin as much as possible whilst also hugging tightly on the apex. Power out of there through this little right-left sequence. Now it's crucial we get this right-hand turn correct. We don't want to clip that inside curb, but we want to keep it nice and tight as we want to open up this left. Take a nice late apex, get on the power. Now back it down into gear 2. Get off a bit of speed as we hug the apex in this bank corner, and then gradually bring it back over to the left, utilising all the acceleration from the V8 engine in this Mercedes. Now down into gear 3, clip the apex there, use all the track width, bring it back over to the right, down into gear 2, late apex again, smooth steering on the exit. Want to utilise all the acceleration. Momentum is key at Ruapuna Park to keep your lap times down. Now into the final corner. Once again, taking a nice late apex so I can get on the power early. See, straighten out the wheel as I get further out of the corner. And that is a lap of Ruapuna Park.
Right then, so thank you Ethan for sending us the hot lap to show in the broadcast, and now we're going to go through the drivers and the team standings, as well as talk to you guys about what the grid order is for tonight. So, I wasn't expecting this actually, but Jasko is leading the championship at the moment with, obviously he got 2 podiums, one in the first race in Catalonia and one in the long feature race, the 40-minute race last week in Rouen-les-Sarthe, which was a pretty good race actually. So that's why he's at top with 106 points. Then we have Tinus, who got a win last time about in the feature race as well. He's on 103 points. Only a 3-point gap between those two, so it's going to be a close rivalry there. Then we have Boy Raxa in 3rd place, and he's got 2 podiums this time, and obviously he's got a 7-point gap between the lead at the moment. Then we have Gaza in 4th place, and Papano in 5th place with 65 points. Big Kid Daddy with another strong performance from him in 6th. VSR Rotary in 7th. McWolfman in 8th place, and Defino in 9th. Leonardo is in 10th place with 38 points. 11th place is Essa Racing with 27 points. 12th place is Scold with 23. Then we have Vetro in 13th with 19 points. Foggy in 14th with 11 points. Andy in 15th with 4 points, with Jazzman yet to score. And then looking at the standings, we have Gaza leading the way by 46-point gap is 171 points. Squadra Demon in 2nd with 125 points. Visual Racing climbing up to 3rd place in the standings, so hopefully they could expect some good results there as well to catch up to the top guys. Motive Racing Team in 4th place, and we have Squadra Corse di Tori Inferrati in 5th place with 102. Then Kozeki Raging Ball Academy in 6th place with 82 points. 7th is Shed Racing 50 points, and HTP Motorsport not getting, well, only have Foggy, obviously, because Foggy is racing by himself, so that he only has 11 points to his name. And before we start the race, we're going to go through the grid then for today. So it is reverse grid, as we were talking about earlier. So Foggy, for the first time in a while, is going to be starting from pole position. Then we have Betro lining alongside him on the front row. Then we have Skull in 3rd, Essa in 4th, they make up the 2nd row. Leonardo and Defina are 5th and 6th, they make up the 3rd row. The 4th row is the 2 VSR boys, McWolfman and VSR Rotary in 7th and 8th. 9th and 10th is Big Kid Daddy and Papano. 11th and 12th is Gaza and obviously Boy Raxa. 13th and 14th is Tinus and Jasko. And at the back of the grid is Jazzman. So we are about to kick off the race. They're just finishing their 10-minute practice, which is timed out quite nicely. And yeah, who would you expect to watch out for in today's race, Evil?
Well, you got to look out for the Shed, of course. Skull, who's often the man who likes starting at the front of the field. He's not a circuit he's going to be comfortable, as we see him right now coming through the back of this circuit. The last corner commonly known as the Rock. This is called the Rock, so not related to the Rock like Dwayne, but the Rock, because I think there's a rock somewhere on the outside of the circuit. I'm not too sure why it's called that. I did have a look. Scott comes into the pit lane. Very difficult pit lane as well. You'll see if we go on board here, because you've almost got a little double chicane here, so you just got to make sure you clip it in there. If you go wide or straight on, you're going to have an accident. Watch out for the likes of the VSR drivers. They're starting quite high up as well. They're starting around 6th and 8th position. The Skolda goes spinning it around in the Jazzman down the back. What can he do? Well, I spoke to him earlier on this week. He said he was only expecting to have some fun. The circuit is not very nice for tyre temperatures. It's just too cold. The tyres cooled down. It's about 17 degrees C. Remember, we are in New Zealand. We're down south. In the South Islands of New Zealand, so it's pretty chilly sometimes as well, not too far off of the coast as. But expect the unexpected. Carnage? Possibly. That one is always be difficult. Remember, we have got that rolling start to account for. Of course, in practice, Boyraxa was the quickest ahead of Jazzman. That's not going to matter too much. Let's get ready for this race. Remember, you've got this 5-second window, and then everyone will be rolling Fogarty down the back. So first, he's going to have to work his way up. Pretty much, luckily though, 14, 13, and 12 are all in pretty much the reverse order of where they need to be. So he's all starting roughly down at the back together.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting because obviously we only have 15 drivers today. Unfortunately, Andy once again could not make tonight's race, as I said earlier, which is unfortunate. Hopefully, he'll be back next week. But the likes of Jasko is going to get used to starting right at the back of the field because usually he's quite in the middle and usually the most carnage happens in the middle. So he's going to have a lot more advantage at the back so he could just try and avoid it. Maybe he can climb some positions we've seen in the past, obviously on PS4 and also on other platforms as well, because I commentated on Xbox. Usually the ones who obviously were the championship leaders have to start the back. They do very well to try and climb back, but some of them not doing so well. But also it does depend on the conditions and the track, but luckily no rain to be seen. I know the last endurance race I commentated on Xbox One in GT3, it was raining, so it was quite difficult for the drivers, but luckily no rain to be seen here. So I don't know which car is best suited to this track, Evil. Have you driven around here? Do you know which car is best for this track, or is it a mixture?
Well, we know the Lamborghinis are very strong around most circuits. Mercedes likely to struggle here. They can't get those tyres hooked up. Big unknown, really, is going to be the Ginettas and those Ferraris down the back, of course. They'll be starting up the front. So, curious to see what they can do. Jazzman, there he is so far. And he's starting last position. Has not finished a single race so far. Had contact with Wolf, which we found out was lag induced, unfortunately, which flipped his car and the rear wing off. 6 laps ahead of our drivers as well. Some drivers will and should be able just to do 0 stops. Should be able to go the entire race, give or take. The likes of Vectro down the back is one of those who is going to be trying to get himself up towards the front of the... Well, definitely going to be trying to go as long as he can. He might change tyres later on, we don't know. We'll find out as there's a melee of cars and everything in the way. It's like Noah's Ark, so he'll pass them out the way as Vectro climbs himself up to the front. Fogarty, already right at the front of the grid. Big unknown, the veteran, over 310 Grand Prix starts in AOR, the most experienced driver by far. And he's going to be one to look out for. Vectro, meanwhile, getting on the grass with Scold there, so having a little bit of friendly rivalry between those two. But both of the sheds so far, 3rd and 4th. That's going to be where they want to be starting. That is where they're going to be starting, hopefully. We'll see them finishing there as someone has decided to take out one of the tyres. And that might give someone damage somewhere, but never say never. But Mercedes, Ferrari, then comes 2 Ginettas, and there is one of them. That's Scold. Is that a bit of damage I see already on the front of that car? I think that might just be bodywork, but yeah, the front end slightly damaged there, so he's hit something already. Shouldn't have done him any damage, however. Leonardo in 5th, Duffino in 6th then, so both the Lamborghinis ahead of both of the Mercedes, ahead of the other 2 Lamborghinis, ahead of both of the Mercedes. They're both, of course, championship contenders, both championship runners up the last 2 seasons. Then comes Tinus, then comes Jasko. Down the back is Jazzman, who's going to have a real work for it here at a circuit, which, as often they depict in real life, is not a GT circuit. It's a motorbike circuit as well. It races karts most normally. And of course, a couple of Ferrari Cup cars as well. These GT3 cars are there some 500-600 horsepower around a circuit, which is going to be tight, it's going to be narrow. We saw what can happen in Ruapuna when it's tight. Well, so we saw what happened in Elisart when it's tight. What about Ruapuna? Well, we're coming around the last corner. 66 laps ahead of the drivers. 90 minutes. Let's get ready to go then. And it is go. And we are underway then. Fogarty slamming off the line and immediately ahead of Vector. The Ferrari, second. And then comes the 2 Ginettas. Then comes a flurry of Lamborghinis. But crucially, I think Fogarty has got it down towards turn number 1, clean away. No, he's off! He's off, he's spun! Fogarty off in turn number 1, and Scold leads then. So, Scold in the Ginetta, good start for him. Contact in the background. Here comes the second of the Genettas. Essa having a look up the inside of Vector. Can't do it. Then comes one of the Mercedes.
Oh, Vector's front!
Contact as well. And we said it could happen. I fears it could happen. And Skull now leads from Leonardo. Then Carnage already at the beginning of this race. Wolf, a stonking start for him in the first of the VSR drivers. His teammate just sitting behind him as well. But what have I said? I've cursed it already. But Wolf in 4th position and already Fogarty down the back, Vector down the back, Essa down the back, and Skulls somehow survives that and leads.
I mean, Skulls did a very good job trying to avoid that. I don't know how he did, to be honest, Evil, but he did, and he's leading the field quite comfortably. And Boyraxa doing very well up in 8th place. Don't forget he has started in 12th, so he's already made up 4 positions already, and he's going to try and get past Big Kid Daddy. He's going to try and go around the inside in the power of the Mercedes again, which is going to be quite tricky, but it is quite short laps around here, and he's really got on the power here. Goes through the start-finish straight then. Let's see what he could do. Oh, it's going to be very, very tight going into turn number 1, but he does it. Big Kid Daddy getting the switch back.
Can't do it there. There's no way you're going to go up the inside turn 1. You might get punted up the rear by someone else if you're not careful, but too tight there. Skull still leads this race on that number 3. Here to go. So, Shed ahead of 2 factory cars. There's the 2 factory Lamborghinis, then ahead of the Mercedes, then of the VSR, and then comes Pardo, who's having a beautiful season so far in his Green Line Racing Machine car, ahead of Ethan, who's still struggling. Background there, a bit of contact. Is that what Jazzman, I think, behind Jazzman? I think that was down the back. It was Jazzman.
Yep.
Just to give you a little bit of a pump, try and move him up there. Jazzman making no position at the start of this race. Neither is Jazz. Neither is Tinnis, to be fair. They're all just capitalising on other people's mistakes. Real winner out of this is going to be Leonardo Defino and all that, because they all jump quite high. So Vetro getting a time penalty down the back already. When you make mistakes around this circuit, it's difficult with the penalties. Always just going to be crucial. If you make a mistake, you make it big. I don't think Vetro, I'm not sure what happened there. Just let them magnetise out the corner, and well, what happened, it resulted in Vetro going round with poor Essa. No damage, I think, done to them too badly there, but a little bit unfortunate. Don't be having that at the beginning of a 90-minute race. Luckily, Vetro not too far down the back, and he can go long in this race. So meanwhile, Wolf challenging and stuck behind right now that Lamborghini. Should be soft hard tyres on that car right now, as far as what I've worked out. All the Mercedes are running soft on the front, hard on the rear, as Wolf having a look there around the outside. Can't do it now on the brakes, because difficult overtaking opportunities. Unless you're brave, and very brave, turn 1 opportunity. Maybe that happen if you get alongside, and really, if you're brave, try and go into these next couple of corners here, down to I think it's turn 6. This right-hander coming after this little twitchy one. Wolf rear end, really twitchy out there. Not really stable right now. These first 10 laps, I guess, they're going to be the real testing thing, because they're going to be warm temperatures. Wow, Scott's got himself a penalty up the front. So he's used to leading races in a slower categories, might I say, but right now he's leading GT3 in a car which is, by all binges, rather diabolic so far, hasn't it, in the first couple of races?
Yeah, it has. I mean, it's been a bit of a shame, because we would be expecting a Skull to climb up the field a little bit, but he's not doing too bad. He has been scoring in the top 10 in all but one race. The only race he didn't get a 10th place was in the 20-minute race, where he got 12th place. But in the others, he got in the top 10, and that's very crucial. Consistency is key. Meanwhile, Wolfman is looking for another good result. Obviously, he had a podium in the sprint race, which, to be honest, I think he was happy with, even though he got caught up in an accident. Fogarty, his race has just gone from bad to worse. He's clipped the curb ever so slightly, and we've got Essa Racing at the back as well. Obviously, they both had a bit of issues at the start of the race, which is why they're at the back there. But sometimes, even when you're at the front of the field, sometimes if you start there, you could have a lot of pressure, because sometimes I find that when I'm near the front, I always tend to have a lot of pressure and make a lot of mistakes more if I'm at the front. But they got to forget about that, Evil. They got to focus on the race ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure exactly what happened there with Messi down the back, though. He just put himself on the grass. I think he was thinking Fogarty might come over a little bit too much. I think Fogarty was up around about Vetro there. I think he got on the curb. You know, Jazzman's behind Vetro. So Vetro's now got ahead of Jazzman. So I'm wondering if Jazzman had contact somewhere. I wonder. That's always a possibility down there. So keep an eye on that one in the lap times. He's coming out of the pit. So he's getting himself out of course. Remember, you have to pit to get some fuel. Lap 5 is around about the optimal time to pit. Meanwhile, might say, Leonardo's gone wide, and now he's got pressure from... Oh, that's contact there. That's not really ideal. Wolf on the outside. This is right now, Skolder's causing a lot of carnage. He's got a lot of the same car behind him, might I say. Ethan up the inside. That's brave from Ethan up the inside there.
Wow.
Gives Leonardo a bit of a shove wide for good measure to make sure he's not coming through. Brave stuff there from the man from Swindon, the Swindonian, pushing on hard in his blue and yellow Mercedes, trying to keep up with his teammate right now. So far, he's got the Lion Racing Machine behind the Trina. And the man, of course, from Essex. I always call him K because for some reason I keep mistaking them. So, the Birmingham boy leads this race. Quite a lot of singers from Birmingham. Quite a lot of famous people up there as well. Right now, Scold doing it for Birmingham up front then, might I say, from Tofino and Wolf so far. Wolf up to third, making a mistake. We believe Leonardo got on the curb. That is the reason why he's dropped down. Ethan really trying to hound the back of the Lamborghini in front of him. Not really an opportunity to come through here unless you're brave. You won't get up the inside. Wolf trying around the outside. Meanwhile, up the road. Let's see if he pulls that move off. It'll be very brave if he does. No, has to sit back for the time being. No way through in turn one. It's meanwhile, Scold is doing some rally cross matches. He's been playing dirt rally recently. Always good, of course. It's free on PS Plus if you want to go and get it and then sign up to AOR, because there's a thing going on there for AOR. Meanwhile, I think we're 3 wide behind them. Are they 3 wide? They
Oh my god!
And that is not ideal.
No, it's not.
Contact there. Ethan trying on that side. It was never going to work there, I do think. That was a bit too narrow. Whilst I'm promoting something else. Always carnage happens when I say something.
Yeah.
Bit of a punt from the left, bit of a punt from the right. That was inedible, really, when as soon as it was coming on, there was no way that was going to pull off that. You can try it sometimes. The outside's always an option, but 3 wide into what is really the tightest corner on the circuit. In fact, it is the tightest corner on the circuit, might I add there, and I don't think that would have done damage to Ethan now. Do you think, was it Tim as my controller disconnects there, so that's not ideal, but luckily that's charged up so I can connect that back up again. But Tofino and Scott both with time penalties there, I believe, of both 2 seconds. Yes, it is up front. Tinnis, meanwhile, comes in the pit lane from what is a 9th position to drop him down towards the back. They're all waiting for Jazzman, and Jazzman has gone off. So, Jazzman having a horrible season so far. Again, Jazzman looking like he's going to score little to no points, Jason. This has got to be the worst season from Jazzman by a long, long while. I don't know what's happening. The car's going wrong. Is it just the track conditions? But whatever it is, it's just not going his way, whereas other drivers are having glory and sunshine like Rapano. Poor Rod Jazzman, who was, of course, he was runner-up or 3rd place, might I say, last season.
3rd place. Right
down the back. And so far, 0 points. And looking like he might get another 0 points there is, well, really hounding the back of Tofino. And I think he's got himself just about to look up the inside. He's done this in the clears up the inside. He ended in tears. He didn't want this time. Just about puts him wide. And I think there might be a look up the inside. Oh, that was a bit clumsy there. He's going to go around there. He's on the island there. Rapano, what on earth was he trying up the inside? That was brave. Didn't work of him. Luckily, he didn't pirouette 2 cars around and just about will get away with that one. As now, there is Boy Raxa who is sniffing up the inside. He'll take 1 car, take 2 cars. Ethan, meanwhile's coming the pit lane, so he's made a mistake somewhere on the circuit as well. But now, here comes Boy Raxa, who's already got past one of the Lamborghinis. He's having a look at the second one, and now he's passed both of those mustard cars.
Yeah, this is really intense battle we're seeing today in Ruapuna. Some of them are taking a big risk more than anything, to be honest. I think we're seeing Wolf taking the most risks out of anybody. Papano had a bad race last week, I can tell you that. I mean, he won in the first race in Catalonia quite commandingly, actually. He was having a great battle with Jasko as well in the first race, but then after that, his results weren't too good. He's got 9th and he's got a 13th place, so But he is going back to true form at the moment on the podium spot at the moment. But don't forget, there's still a long way ahead for Papano. So he's got to keep his head down, because Boyrax is right behind. Leonardo is right behind as well. Gazza down in 7th place. So he's not making the moves as we would have thought he would have done. But he's concentrating on saving his fuel and tyres, and then he can start pushing towards the end. I did see someone else going into the pit lane or taking into the escape road, and wasn't quite sure what it was. Also, quite a few people getting time penalties, which I think is quite common.
Here, but here goes Wolf. Then he's going to go around the outside of Skull. Then this should be an easy move, I reckon. Then the Mercedes versus the Shed. The Shed's going to have to back off. Let's see. Just Skull pins the inside and hug it, but Skull going to run inside. And Scold, and that's not going to be happy. Wolf is going to be livid with that one. He does not like that. Rather, Scold got on the curb too much. There, too much curb. But Partner goes through in the lead. Now Scold's wide. Now he's off the circuit. It's gone backwards, backwards, and backwards. And now he's getting swamped by 1 car, by 2 cars, maybe by a 3rd. And it's going downhill. I think Wolf almost got tagged as well. And now Scold still side by side and just remains ahead of that Lamborghini. But Scold making no friends right now there. Rather getting in the way, the old Shed. And, well, I don't get too much curb on the inside. Unfortunately, Wolf couldn't hold it there. It was rather punted a little bit wide there as the car came back across the circuit very abruptly. And I think Skull might have some stern words by Wolf later on. He will not be best pleased with that one. Right now, if I was Wolf, I'd really consider coming in the pit and just get some clean air, because the guys around you are saying at 220 for partner with the 219s. Like Tennis 219s as well. Jaska, they're all saying blistering lap times down the back, whilst these guys are all in this dirty air train.
Yeah, that is insane. I mean, that's the fastest laps I've seen around this Rapana circuit, of course, around New Zealand. And, you know, Papano, I saw that move that he done, and he took advantage there, and he said, see you later, man, and he's done it, really. And, oh, I did see someone spin that Scold. He is not having a good time at all. He was trying to hold the lead for ever so long. He's now down in 6th position, a position where he does not want to be. You can see he's got a lot of pressure with him right now, and it's really showing at the moment, because the two teammates from, I'm trying to figure out what team it is, Rage Aboard Academy. Well, they might be raging if Scold has something to do with it, but looks like they're not, because they are right ahead of them. But Wolf, he's in 2nd. I know he won't be happy because he's not in the lead, but you know, it's going to get really intense rivalry in this race. We're not even halfway yet, so these guys need to calm down a little bit. But at least we're seeing some battles earlier on in the race, but it will quieten down obviously towards halfway through the race as we see more pit stops. Quite a few people have pit stops already, of course, and meanwhile we're seeing Gazza right on the back of Scold, so I think, and here's Wolf in the pits then, so he must be watching your stream, so our stream, Evil, because he's going into the pits. We told him on the stream to go into the pits, so, you know, and we do see, I think it's Vetro. No, it's not Vetro, it's Scold. Yeah, Scold's in the pits as well.
I think now we might have to repair from earlier on, but Vetro, there he is so far. He's going to try, and I believe he will have to come in still at some point, but he should be able to just go to the end of the incredibly good on terms of fuel usage. It can last a lot longer than the other cars. That's how much it was nerfed earlier on in the game cycle, of course. It had a lot more power. Since then, it's now got a lot less power, meaning it's a lot more reliable than fuel usage, so it can go a lot longer on that car, so some might say it's a bit unfair. Nonetheless, you can see Leonardo on 97 compared to Vetro right now, who's almost on 101. There's driver 2, my Jasko and all that, 109 is Essa, as that Scold in the way, is Essa having a look up the inside, and Scold there going to be forced wide yet again. He's losing one place, now he loses another, and he's only just dropping backwards and backwards and backwards, as now there is the other team car, that is Big Kid Danny not too far behind him, and Scold. So some can say he's been practicing a lot less recently, he's been focusing on other, that might be affecting him quite a lot, and of course, it's mentality as well. If you're not practicing as much as some other drivers, the likes of Jazzman, and again, Jazzman practices a lot, but he's not really working for him, is it? Because he's all the way down the back. He's got no pace. He's struggling so far this season. He's 2 seconds a lap slower right now than the race leader Ruapuna, who we believe might come in around in the next couple of laps to try and cover off Wolf, because Wolf is going to be a real threat now, because Wolf's got clean there. Next car to him is his teammate, and leads to him, saying very close lap times as well. Of course, that last lap, Wolf won 24, because that was his out lap compared to, of course, Ethan's 122. Jasco Loeb taking a lot more time out of drivers. Have a look at the sky. It's starting to cloud over a little bit. The track temperature will be dropping as we go later on into this race. We're currently on lap 13 here in Ruapuna Park. Only a little bit away from Christchurch. And, well, Jesus is probably looking down at this race and saying it's going quite well for some. Some might be blessing the Lord, and some might very well be cursing the Lord. The likes of Fogarty right now, who's having a horrible season so far, as well as Jazzman getting no luck whatsoever. He led from the start, only led one corner, and then he was off down towards turn number 1, just like that. And just as I say, going off down turn number 1, he goes off spinning through turn number 1. So,
evil.
Example there, Fogarty. 10 out of 10 for showing us how exactly he went off earlier on, and he's getting that there by Ruapuna, and he pulls off to the grass.
I think he's retiring, I think.
Yeah, he
is.
So, and an evil curse leads to bad omens, and a poor old thing cannot get any luck, can he, poor old Fogarty? The vet, whenever I'm here, for whatever reason, just can't get any luck out of it.
It's like what you done with Wolf last season. When you weren't in the commentary box, Wolf ended up winning. So I guess you're doing the same for Fogarty. So you know, I'm probably jinxing a few drivers as well. But let's not talk about that too much, as we've got obviously he is lagging. Oh, he's lagging
really badly. That's a disconnection, I think. Or is it? Nope, it's carrying on. That's going to be scaring a few drivers. I think there's going to be a few brown pants moments.
That scared me. That scared me.
That's good. That's not good. That happens every now and then. It should sort itself out, of course. But, well, occasionally, his Essex Wi-Fi decides he wants to play up a little bit. Meanwhile, Ethan's dropping back a little bit right now into Jasco's clutches. 121 compared to 129. Wolf's setting a 120.0. He is the quickest driver on circuit, all bar the one that's ahead of him. That's Ruapuna, who's setting about the same lap time as well, a 120.0. So very, very close lap times. Though I say those are quick lap times. Jazzman down the back, 119.9. So never mind exactly what I said about those guys being the quickest, because Jazzman's the only one into the 19s. Though I lie, because Vyrax is also in the 19s. So
the fastest guy.
I'm holes in myself. And Tinner's right now in the 19.8 as well. So they're already going quickly. Vetro has come in the pit lane for his scheduled stop. That should be probably around about 1 or 2 litres, I imagine. Should be too much fuel in lap Ferrari. The fuel nozzle goes in. It's in around about a lap of fuel, and out he goes there. Pretty much put himself just over a lap more of fuel, 1 litre to do fine for the Ferrari. Vyrax P2 right now. He's behind Pano up front. Defino, Leonardo, Gaza, Tinus. Wolf is the first driver who has stopped in this race. He's followed quickly by Rotary, Jasco, and then Scott, who's going rather downhill in this race, might I add. There is Big Kid Daddy and Jazzman. Yeah, Jazzman is a lap down as well. So Jazzman not really going to be getting too much out of this race, unless, of course, some carnage goes on ahead of him. 14 drivers left in this race, though. Unfortunately, Andy could not show up again, having a whatever reason it is. Hope everything is okay on his end. Not too clued up, of course, at the current circumstances. I hope everything is well for him. Defino and Leonardo, meanwhile, close together in the battle of the mustard-busted yellow liveries, he's used to call it. Very mustardy coloured cars, I might add. And then, of course, you've got Gaza, who's just sitting there, looking forward, having a slow start of the season. Finished second last out in the first race, and I do not remember. Did he win the race so far this season? I don't think he has. Of course, did he finish second with Team Order.
No, he won. He won.
Was it the other way around? It was the other way around. Well, never. So ignore what I just said and reverse what I said, and then it will make sense. So it was close enough. It was one of the cars that won.
It was one of the Gaza and Raza racing cars that won. Let's just say that.
It was last week. I will excuse myself. I might not be remembering too much of it. But so far, there is the yellow cars. They're doing good. I always like to call them the mustard cars. They do look very mustardy. a beautiful little yellow livery car. It stands out, I might add. It's probably one of the liveries, apart from the bright green car of Papano, which is even more standing out. The Lamborghinis do stand out quite a lot, because compared to everything else, they're just bright, brilliant colours, and compared to the dull, dark, corporate livery of the Project Cars car, which of course is meant to be yellow, and it's very corporate as well. It's a beautiful livery, might I add. It's one of my favourite liveries. Of course, Defino. And then we got Leonardo, of course, running those yellow liveries. Then got the defending, well, the runner-up champion, what I say, the defending champion by Raxter. The season before that, Gaz, and the season before that would have been, I think, the Schmidt, if I'm not too mistaken, before him. Behind them, we've got Tennis. And then comes the first of two Mercedes drivers there, or the VSR team. Ethan back in his beautiful blue and yellow golden-esque livery, which he's ran for so many different seasons. It was the first livery he ran in there a lot, so he's returned back to it, potentially going to the Bentley next season, which we believe is going to be a potential runner-up as well. The calendar already starting to get formed as far as I work out. Apparently, it's going to be quite a sizzler because I'm helping it. So we'll see what happens. If I can have my way. Probably won't, but let's find out what happens. Leonardo, meanwhile, he's sitting in fourth position, lap 18 of this race. And so far, we've got the top 6 still yet to come in the pit lane. Wolf's going quite well so far, setting 119s. He's 30 seconds in a pit window, which is around about 25 seconds. So should come out around about third position, yes.
Yeah. He's done really well, actually. No penalties, of course, and obviously Boyrax in the 119s as well. And obviously, since more people are getting used to the track, the faster lap times it will be, and also if they have less fuel, the faster lap times it will be too. It does depend on how many fuel you want, but we don't want to have a situation where we want to run out of fuel. But I can guarantee you there may be a few people on the cusp of that today, so hopefully that won't happen there, of course, as Defino still holding strong in third place. Don't forget, he was one of those drivers that got promoted from Tier 2 last season, and he is now into Tier 1. And to be honest, though the Tier 2 drivers so far are doing a pretty good job. They're very impressing me so far in this league, and I usually would expect those drivers to be near the bottom. Somehow we got Defino in 9th and Leonardo in 10th, so they're kind of in the midfield right now. But meanwhile, Raxa is in the pits doing his scheduled stop. By the looks of things, I think he's only going to add a few litres of fuel as well, so that means Wolfman will move up a place as well as Tinnis.
Potentially. Not sure, Jess, actually, to cut over you there.
We'll see anyway. Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Because Tinnis is going to be the car ahead, then it'll be Wolf, who's going to be about 5-6 seconds down the road there. So about what I was predicting there. So it's about 5 seconds, then he should come out. Or should come out around about third position. Meanwhile, Ethan having a little bit of a battle with Jasper. Ethan putting right to the inside right now, defending. Doesn't really defend too hard there from Jasper. The Lamborghini a lot slower that Mercedes might add. Meanwhile, Foggy in the chat saying the conditions are a joke. We can't say exactly for certain, but my feelings are rather neutral on these conditions, of course. But all I can say is that I cast Fogarty immediately when I say he spun, and then he spun again. So, you know, always happens with me. But meanwhile, Parnham, he should be coming in the pits, and does come in the pits, exactly on cue then. So it should allow, and I think we're going to see a few more drivers coming in the pit lane. No, not these top guys. Gaza doesn't. So Tinnis by Rax, who is, of course, leader of this, well, the potential leader of this race. Depends on how good this outlap really is. There's only about a couple of attempts off of the likes of Parnham in the pit lane now. It's a long pit lane for him. He's right down the end of it. He should just, I think, come out in the lead. He'll be very close with Tinnis. Let's see how long has he got. Let's see if Tinnis can jump him. That's going to be very bad for him. If Tinnis does get ahead of him, Tinnis is going to get ahead of him. That is not what he wanted to happen there. He would have either come out ahead. He's now behind him and behind traffic as well. By Raxler, where's by Raxler? Is the camera doesn't want to work with us there. Just behind him there. Then Wolf is Wolf's only just what, a couple of attempts behind as well. There he is. You can see about 4 seconds. So he should come out definitely ahead of the Fino.
Yeah, I think so as well, and I think you'll be pretty impressed about that. So obviously quite a few people still yet to make their pit stop, so the order will change just a little bit. So you know, like last week they didn't have to make pit stops, whereas this week they do. Some people it's for scheduled pit stops, some of them it's just for damage. But once you get your pit stop out of the way, you can focus till the end of this race. Quite a few people getting penalties right now, as we got an 8-second penalty for Ethan there, so he must have got it somewhere. And obviously a few more penalties from the other drivers as well, as Gaza goes into the pits for, I think, his scheduled stop, I think, or it might be damage, I don't know. Yeah, no,
Stop, Jess.
scheduled stop, so he'll be comfortably in a good position, obviously, when he goes out of the pit lane. I think it's going to be a short stop as well, just like the other drivers have done so far, as he's down in 6th position at the moment. So he's going to probably be just ahead of one of the VSR boys anyway, as Ethan has just got ahead of Gaza. So Gaza's stuck in kind of a VSR sandwich right now, so he's a bit under pressure there.
Behind, actually, Jess, so he's just come up behind. He's got that Lamborghini side, and just about gets past there, so it didn't work out for him just about. They didn't have the outright pace. If he picked maybe a lap or two earlier, he might have got away with it. So that's not worked exactly what he needs to do, but now we have slightly more optimal tyres, might I add, of course, so they might be able to pose quite more aggressively for the next couple of laps, as Borax are, meanwhile, up the road in 5th position, doing an okay job. He's behind Papano and Tintin. Davino and Leonardo still yet to stop in those two Lamborghinis right now, and we're looking at Wolf's pace. Meanwhile, Wolf for 122 that last lap there, compared to 120 from Davino. We're not sure exactly there, as of course Davino has got a time penalty up the front, compared with his teammate Leonardo in 2nd position. But of course, these two top drivers, the Raging Bulls, raging on up the front, and as long as they don't take each other out, they're just going to sit behind each other, I imagine, just follow each other around the circuit, lap after lap. Good pace between them as well, very similar, maybe a 10th or 2. But the last thing these two need is to hit each other, Jess.
No, they don't want to do that, Evil. I guess their team boss must be telling them right now just to keep in each other's pace. They only fight when they need to, really, so that is good to see. And I think we are down to 13 drivers. Unfortunately, Jazzman, I think, will have to retire early on as well. So another driver. Oh, we got the two teammates fighting. The Raging Bulls are attacking right now in New Zealand, in Ruapuna Park. And Leonardo, I think, yeah, it is team orders by the looks of things. A clean move from both of them, and it's now for Leonardo's chance to see if he can pull some decent lap times. And I assume, Evil, if Leonardo doesn't do that, then Defino will probably be let back past.
Let's see, of course. They're just training each other right now. I think Leonardo's got more pace in that car, of course. They are racing for 3rd position so far in this race, because Wolf, really the unknown right now. He's going to come out awfully close between these drivers, as long as he doesn't get himself too wide and throw the car off the road. Ethan, meanwhile, just sitting behind as well. Doing an okay job holding off the likes of Jasko and Gaza, but you got to say for Ethan, he was hoping for the championship, contending. These first couple of rounds have really just not played into their driving styles. Spain had some issues, of course, in dirty air. He spun a few times in turn number 1 when I said he was doing well. Had an issue in race 2 of his steering wheel, he found out then, so his brake pedal his throttle pedal jammed open then down on the last lap. That's why he dropped down the back of the field. Of course, his teammate didn't have too much luck in round 1. He ran out of fuel in the second race, involved in contact with Jazzman in race 1. Race 2 didn't go too much better as well. Managed to survive some very gnarly and podium, if I'm not too mistaken, out of that one. At least top 5 in the end of that race, of course. So it was rather a dramatic race, might I add, just 7 days ago. Big Daddy, he's battling away to Scold me. Well, Danny 10% Scold, no pace so far, and that's been a common trend of this Ginetta. It's struggling, and whatever the reason is, neither Essa or Scold can get the car to hook up, and of course, they braved it. They wanted to try the car out, and they wanted to try it. I think Scold's still committed for the car for the rest of the season, but right now, it's not really working too well. The gas has just up the road from them, and has to stop as well, so everyone has stopped but the top 2 drivers, I believe, and so we'll see what happens. That's gold. He's got that Lamborghini behind him. Vetro, meanwhile, down there in 13th, 12th position, might I say now. Involved in that lap 1 shenanigan and caught out with Essa. Essa had not really recovered as well, unfortunately. And Vetro, a man who was put up to tier 1 after one of the other drivers was put down to tier 2. Again, after having been misplaced in the tier, and that driver, we believe, is not having the best of luck in tier 2 for whatever reason as. But hopefully, of course, every driver has their up and downs when they're moved up and down at tier. And sometimes they struggle, sometimes they thrive. I mean, well, talk about drivers that are thriving. You might say Leonardo, the man who was in tier 2 last season, moved up to tier 1. So far, makes it together with the top drivers. He had a brilliant race in Hockenheim last season where he was running very well up in the top 3 or 4 until he made that mistake later on. He was coming back into it, but couldn't do it right at the end when those Mercedes were all just a little bit too fast. And that barnstormer of a race in Hockenheim, maybe that race will be back next season, because that is one of my favourite races that I've commentated on in a long, long time.
Speaking of that, Evil, Hockenheim is the next round.
It is, yes.
So, good plug there. Good plug.
Hockenheim. Different new Hockenheim, of course, built in 2002, of course, made by Helmut Tilke. Not the number of people in real life who are in the sim race community really like the new Hockenheim. It's a terrific little circuit. It makes some very interesting racing, right? So especially if you go on to a drag strip on the last corner. So luckily on this game, it's not an ice skating ring, because it's very weird. It's very not often you go off for that corner, unless your name is an F1 driver, because you will go off on that corner. But none of our racing drivers are racing in F1 tiers, as far as I'm knowledgeable. Well, I think Big Kid Daddy might be one of the exceptions. I think he races in the F1 league. But, of course, Hockenheim, always a good race. Going to be in the wet, by the way, as well. Early morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. So, that's going to be a very beautiful circuit, might I add. And the first real racers circuit, and the first time I think we're going to be able to see these drivers race in full pelcher.
Yeah, definitely. So if you want to find out how these drivers do, watch out next week in Hockenheim. But obviously we're still at Ruapuna, of course. 5 laps gone, and Big Kid Daddy's looking very impressive behind Skuld, as obviously Skuld has had a bad race. Big Kid Daddy wants to try and recover, as well as we've seen Skuld going to the grass a little bit there, going into the penultimate. Oh, as Wolf's disconnected, so he's out.
And I feared that might happen.
I'm not surprised, to be honest, Evil. I mean, he was having issues, I think, quite a bit, and unfortunately he was very unlucky, so he's retired for the first time. He was looking very strong pace-wise with his lap times, and he was going to probably go onto the podium as well.
And
so
I'm now disconnected as well.
Oh, you disconnected too? Are we having a mass disconnection? I hope not. I hope not. So I don't know how I can give you an invite, Evil.
Jasmine sent me 3 of them. It's fine.
That is not a problem. But like last week though, Evil, we're still following a good battle anyway. So you always seem to pick good battles to follow whilst you have disconnected anyway. So, you know, that's not too bad. We're doing better than nothing, We're following Jasko behind VSR Rotary at the moment, fighting for P6. As obviously they pitted early on as well. Ethan looking quite good as well. Let me just look. Ethan actually started 8th on the grid, and he's made up 2 positions. So for his standard, he's doing brilliant, even though he kind of wants a podium as well. Obviously, Jasko in the lead of the championship. Obviously, he started at the back of the grid, and he's now up into 7th position in the race. So again, he's, you know, we're starting to see the drivers who have usually have good pace climb up the field a little bit more, and we usually see the ones that make more mistakes. Now at the back, obviously Essa not having a good start, but at least he's still going on the racetrack. He's got no penalties either, so he's still going to get some decent points no matter what, because you get points if you finish a race, which is what we like to see. Obviously you get points for endeavour as well, as we're still following this battle at the moment, obviously, because Evil Dragon is still trying to get into the session, so that is why we're still following this battle. But this is looking very tasty. I'm going to see the gap between Jasko and VSR Rotary is about 6 tenths right now, so the gap is starting to come down just a little bit as well. I think this is the only battle we're sitting on circuit at the moment, potentially. But we could... and Evil Dragon has just joined, so hopefully he'll join back pretty quickly. And we'll see if Jasko can try and make the run on this straight. I don't think he's going to at the moment. We got another blue car behind as well. I think that's Gaza in 8th place. Yes, it is. He's about 4 seconds down the road from these guys. So the more these guys are starting to battle, the more that Gaza will start to catch up, and he'll be probably happy about that one. And yeah, it's getting quite intense. I'm see about the fastest lap times as well. VSR Roach set 199 and Jasko set 120.1. So both of these guys are pretty much even on pace at the moment in this circuit, which is why they're still battling very close together, as Jasko was only 1/10 of his previous best. So he's showing that he's consistent. Obviously, consistency is key, and it shows because he's right at the top of the standings right now. And Evil Dragon has changed camera, which means he's back in the session successfully. So welcome back, Evil.
Yes, welcome back to the world of Neverland. And let's get back where we were then just a few moments ago. Well, Jasko behind Ethan, of course. They're all disconnecting, unfortunately. Had contact with Ethan earlier on, apparently, I'm hearing there. So I'm not sure what happened there. Gave him damage. So something happened. Or the other way round. Jasko having a look at the inside. That's brave. As that almost gave me a fright. That was a bit late on the brakes. He got through. He's forced Ethan wide. And now let's see. He's even going to try and cover up the inside. I think Jasko might not be able to do that too well up the inside. That'd be brave to up the inside there. But I had a little lunge. Didn't work. As lagging still on my end, by the way. So hopefully that is not bad omens still to come. But a little bit of lag there. Meanwhile, Skull battling away with Big Kid Daddy and Essod, meanwhile, with Vetch. There's a few battles going on in this race so far, but it is, of course, Rotary just holding the line ahead of Jasko in 7th position.
Yeah, definitely. Ethan's doing very well to defend. When he's got a chance to defend, he does it very well indeed. Obviously, Visual Racing are 3rd in the championship standings team-wise, with Squadra Demon in 2nd place. Obviously, Big Kid Daddy and Papano are squaded even, and they're going to get some decent points out of this, because Papano is 4th place right now, but obviously there'll be a next P2, because obviously the top 2 have not pitted yet, so that is why they are there, of course. And this is going to be very, very intense for Jasko and Ethan. Now let's see what the gap is between Gaza and these two. 4.1 still, so the gap is still the same. Maybe Gaza is not in the same level compared to the other two, but actually they are, because the last lap Gaza set was a 120.3, whereas Jasko 120.8 and VSR Votary 120.5, so all three of them pretty much even on pace now. I don't think they're going to overtake now, because obviously turn 1's the only chance you could potentially get to overtake as well, and we can see Ethan pulling away in the background as well, so his straight line Mercedes is definitely helping there just a little bit.
Struggling there, and it's
fine, it's fine.
Earlier. Oh, that was weird up the inside there. Did he even get a penalty there? I think he might have got. Yeah, he did get a penalty there. So
or he let him through, maybe.
Who had would have a penalty. There would have been no reason to let him through otherwise. Rapano was the one who hit Ethan earlier on, not Wolf. So apologies to Wolf there for
Evo
miscommunicating what he said in the chat. Occasionally, I'm dyslexic. It happens. Very loose rear end right now, that Lamborghini Jasko has. It's not looking very comfortable so far. Well done the back. We've got Scoldy Waldick being battled by the car of Big Kid Daddy, and Vetro now behind Essa by quite some while.
Oh, Vetro! That is not how you do that corner, my friend. I think that's going to be another penalty from Vetro. And yeah, it's just a lack of concentration and maybe hitting the curve just a little bit too much, Evil, I think.
Yeah, it's struggling there. Racks up. Papano, the battle for 5th and 6th position so far in this race. Lamborghini is looking all out of shape right now. Here comes the Mercedes around the outside. Has he got the move done around the outside? He just about has the outside line. Papano, hey, losing the rear end and just about keeps himself on the island. And I'm not think I've said that before, but the Lamborghini just about keeps itself on the island. This is becoming rather treacherous right now. It's almost like the circuit's wet when it's not wet. but there is no grip out there, and Jasko ahead of Ethan, of course, after Ethan had that slow down penalty earlier on. No grip out there, Jas, and this is going to be the common trend right now for the next 30-odd laps.
Yeah, we're almost at the halfway distance of this race, Evil. We're pretty much in 2 laps' time. So, and Jazzman disconnected, but he left ages ago. So, yeah, that's fine. That's fine, absolutely fine. I thought it was another driver that disconnected, but it's Jazzman. So, all good, alongside the other drivers that are still in this race, of course. And Big Kid Daddy, he's just finding it hard to get past Scold at the moment, and they've been still battling.
Well, you say that, Jess. You almost cursed it. Scold almost lost the rear.
Oh no! I thought it was just you. I thought it was just you that jinxes, but I think I jinxed him a little bit too much. So sorry, Scold. So that makes us level in jinx. Well, level with jinxes about Scold, Evil.
Yeah, Vetcher, meanwhile, down the back, getting out of the way of that Pano Boyraxler. So that's the battle there. Meanwhile, Scold is still ahead of a Kid Daddy. He is just about. Scold relatively keeping it in a straight line, might I say. The car wants to go round. That car's very loose. As long as he doesn't go and dip it on the grass somewhere and end up flying himself off the road, that will not be ideal. Scold matting those curbs very aggressively, the course. Did you head up? Good at doing that. Down on the brakes, chuck it into the corner. Rear end will step out again. The firing exhaust going out the rear is.
Oh, they touch!
As as the rear end again. Well, what do I say when he's obviously done touch the grass and spin?
Oh my God, Evil!
Well, meanwhile, Ethan and Leonardo together. Leonardo keeping on the island this time at least. He's getting caught rapidly by Ethan. Ethan pushing hard. As long as Ethan, and this time. You know what? As long as Ethan does make a mistake, he shouldn't get past. There we go. Reverse psychology. Maybe it'll work. I think that's what we have to do, Evil. I think. Vetra getting out of the way. Yeah, Vetra getting away. Vetra's having no luck right now. I'm not sure what's going on with Vetra, but he's got no pace right now in that Ferrari. It's just not working for him. The rear end, loose. Very loose. Very, very, very loose. And I don't think he's really got that car set up how he wants to do it. Right now, he's got, you can see, look at the car, wanting to step out here, wanting to step out there, wanting to step out everywhere. It's like he's driving on ice right now, might I add.
Yeah, definitely. It might be due to his sap later, Evil, or it might be, like we said earlier, due to the track conditions, as in the grass again. He just get caught up once again. I mean, again, he's not had the best of luck, but he hasn't had the worst luck. So obviously, the likes of Foggy has retired as well, and Jazzman and stuff like that, so he could be in a worse situation right now, but Vetro still in 12th. Life is still good because he's still in this race. So standings as it is so far, Defino still leading from Tinus, then Boyraxer, then Papano in 4th place, and we got Jasko and Leonardo as we're on the outboard shot for Leonardo in 6th place, with VSR Rotary hunting him down quite considerably at the moment. 8 attempts there. And obviously we got Jasko, who Leonardo is hunting down. So we could have a 3-way battle on our hands, potentially in this race, potentially soon. And as I was saying, we are now halfway into this race, Evil. So we've got another 33 laps to go.
Yeah, meanwhile, Jazzman asking if you could take a screenshot of the race results just when they are finished.
Of course, I'll do that.
So let's do that when due course. Right now, 34 laps completed. Scold in the pit lane. Is that for damage? Well, it's only got to be for damage.
Oh, Scold! That is. I have seen exactly because.
You know what? I've never seen that before.
I've seen it. I have seen it. It was in season 10. In Xbox, I know it was it. Oh my God! I think he's given up.
Skull's given up. Well, that's got to be the most
weirdest.
Well, I mean, you should call that on stream there. I mean, we'll replay
yeah, to be fair, I've got to say, because I think we were at Ruapuna in season 10, I believe, and it was raining, and there was someone who was actually in Xbox. It was my first season, might I add, commentating for Project Cars on Xbox One. Someone went to the pit lane and they binned it. So, we didn't have that. That's not the first time I've seen that. But Scold has made it a more dramatic fashion, I must say. And then he retired. So at least, At least it's not raining here, Evil. Otherwise, it would have been a lot worse for Skull there. But that means we're now down to 11 drivers. But I think it was inevitable for Skull there, as he was struggling so much in this race.
Yeah, well, he'll hope that I didn't see that, I imagine, but I saw that. 11 drivers right now. This is a bit low right now. We're at 34. I mean, this. I think I might lose a few more, Jess, before this race is over.
Oh, don't jinx it, Evil. Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it.
There's struggling out there. There's no grip whatsoever, and I mean, this is really. I mean, it's gotta be. I mean, on PC it's quite nice, but for whatever reason, we're just having some really weird track conditions as last of the racing.
Xbox is worse. Xbox I feel is worse.
Really bad, but track conditions right now. I don't know whatever's happening. Of course, as S getting out of the way on the inside, but hopefully we get some. Maybe even PS4 and Xbox get their own weather conditions, because it just seems compared to PC. I was talking to some PC drivers as well, and they're saying they're not having any issues on circuits. Compared to these PS4 drivers, they're having massive trouble. And of course, it's about, what, half a second, maybe a second difference between PC and PS4. And of course, Xbox is maybe even a second slower, Jess, if I'm not too mistaken. It's a lot slower.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Not going to go in too much detail there. You know. Always.
And out goes Ethan. So, there we go. Did I say we're going to lose more? Well, we lost another one. So, the continued trend of losing drivers from Evil cutsing them.
What happened to Ethan?
It might be a wheel issue, I reckon. I'm not too sure. It was last time, but
oh, it might be that he's just not happy with the track, or he couldn't control anything. So that is both one team out, pretty much. One team out of this race, and obviously we have actually two, because obviously Foggy is his own team. So that is not what you want if you're fighting for the team championship, of course. But hopefully they can recover next week, of course. And you know, I swear the ones that we do who give us hot laps, they don't tend to do well in the race. So maybe Evil, we should ask someone else to do the hot lap next week, so we don't give them bad luck.
Yeah, whoever does the hot lap retires. Jasmine did it as well, because it's the case, and he doesn't fit. Is the hot lap cursed?
Yeah, I think so, Evil. I think so.
You know what? I might do it next week. So I do it, that will end well. I don't think it'll be very hot lap, but a very slow hot lap. But what kind of happens? Well, Papano is in fourth position. Defino right now leads this race, and I'm not sure, is he pitted or not? I'm not too sure. Whereas all this carnage has been going on, I completely missed it. He might have pitted, I believe he has. So right now, Vetro is in 10th position. He's at the point slow, so if he does not finish, he's going to get some points out of this. There we go, Vetro's got some points.
Yay!
So carrying on, he's getting some points in the Ferrari, which has rather been spinny fashion this season. Well, at least he's not going around so far.
You'll get some points anyway, because I know you get points for every place you finish. As long as you finish, you get points.
Yeah, well, as long as he doesn't spin, it's going to be fine. Meanwhile, top two are battling together. So we have a few battles going on in this pit lane. Mainly because Delfino's coming in the pit lane exactly when I said this closing up. So never mind about those two battling. So moving onwards, then.
Is that Delfino's first stop?
Yeah, that will be Delfino's first stop then. So, well, good to know he's going to come in. Is he? Yeah, that's Ethan's pit box there. He's sitting there in the background. So Delfino, in he comes, gets new tyre. Well, not new tyres, a little bit of fuel, and back away he goes in. So no battling right now then for us. Titnus leads this race from Biorax from Pano. Jasco in fourth position in the other Lamborghini ahead. Lovely, and I do apologise for the camera angle down there, Tom. Let's go on board there, must go through it.
Yeah, it's not the best angle.
Delfino in 7th, Big Kid Daddy in 8th, Essa getting that by Pano in 9th, and Vetro, who's going through time. Let's go on board with Vetro then for a little bit whilst we're not got a lot to do. Beautiful scenery, might I say, on this circuit, as Vetro rather going sideways through turn 1, keeps it on the island. It's always a beautiful circuit though. It's very rural, it looks very old school. I mean, if you go off the circuit, there is JCBs and tractors you can hit, but some people might wince at seeing certain things on the side of the road. Of course, this is a circuit really not built for racing, like it's not built for high class racing. It's a grade 3 listed circuit. Only really hosts the occasional cup car race, of course, in New Zealand. It's a very private circuit, of course, due to its location. It's near the little city of Christchurch, if I'm not Christchurch, I say.
Christchurch, yeah.
Christchurch, of course, and of course Christchurch County Prison for Boys. It's not too far away.
Oh, Vetro in the grass again.
Yeah, struggling. Nice town called Hornby, not too far away. Which I think Vetro, who does like his model trains. I think does like his models as well.
Just like you with your train simulators.
Yes, with me accidentally. Well, I would say we won't go into what I do on Train Simulator, but let's say it's going about as well as some. I would say the drivers that aren't there, and maybe
other games are available.
Yes, other games are available. But AOR Train Sim Championship, anyone? I'm down for that. That could be quite fun. I think it's not a lot of actually going on in this race. We've got some 26 laps still to go ahead of the drivers. Byrax pushing his car to the absolute limit as these track conditions continue to fall. I'd love to know if anyone in the chat, I mean, Wolf or anyone who might be there, could tell us what the track temperature right now. I think it's about 14 degrees, I reckon, right now. It's very cold, and these soft tyres, I reckon, are not going to be doing too well, I imagine, these conditions.
No, I don't think so. I mean, this is going to be... It's always the most tricky part of the races towards the end because the conditions start to get a bit more tricky for the drivers. You can already see quite a lot of people having their lights on a little bit, so I'm guessing the visibility may be hard as well. But obviously, I think everyone's pretty much got penalties, which sums up, people, how tricky this track is. I think the only one not to get penalties is Boyraxa, Gaza and SA Racing. Everybody else has got more than one penalty, but there we go. So, wow. Oh, Big Kid Daddy. We're not going to talk about his penalties. Yeah, 31 seconds.
Not the biggest, not the biggest penalty I've seen. Scott, I remember last season, if I'm not mistaken, 58 seconds I think he got somehow. I'm not sure how you get 58 seconds. You have to ask him, but...
I will ask him. I will ask him later on, probably.
I think he got... I think that was that, or someone else got a penalty. I think Vetro might have got one quite high as well. But not a lot of action going on. So if anyone does have anything in the chat to want us to talk about, do let us know. Yeah, we're saying it was about 16 around about this point then, so... very cold temperature. Ethan saying that due to people leaving, it made the circuit very unstable due to the disconnects. Of course, 3-4 people disconnected. Unfortunately, me myself one of them, of course, but I do not believe that will do too much. Of course, the track has a bit of lag occasionally. I do apologise for anyone who does get caught out in my rejoining lag. I think I got disconnected with someone else, but
it was Jazzman as well, and I think there was another one disconnected too.
Disconnected as well, unfortunately. So a few people having issues. Not a lot of action going on right now. We feared Justice might have. The close battle is Tinus and Boyraxa, first and second right now. The Lamborghini ahead of that Mercedes. Then we've got Pano in third. But we feared something like this could happen, Jess. It might be a very lonely race once things got into it. Only 10 drivers left in this race. And of course, it started with 15. We've lost 5 of them right now. Sometimes mistakes happen, of course. The track conditions are not suitable whatsoever, and the circuit really proving to be a difficult little thing as well. Unfortunately, it's catching a lot of the drivers out as well, and the track choice right now, it's not ideal, is it, Jess? Unfortunately,
it's not ideal for races like this, but you get some of these moments at times where you may get tracks where you don't like, and obviously tracks later on where you don't like. I'm looking forward to next week actually in Hockenheim, like we talked about earlier. That's probably one of my favourite tracks on the calendar, so that should be some good racing. Pretty much we had a Hockenheim pretty much for the last 2 seasons. I know last season we had a classic Hockenheim, and then the season before we had and then the season before, or the season before that, we had the normal Hockenheim, which I think both of those races I remember quite vividly because I watched it back, both of them as well, because I was busy doing other stuff. So yeah, I mean, but enough about that. We are on lap 42 right now, this race, and as you said, it was getting quite quiet. Potentially we might see a battle brewing between Tinus and Boyraxa, as Boyraxa is closing up. The lap times are pretty much the same right now. The only 2 drivers are in the 119, so Tinus with a 119.7, Boyraxa with a 119.5, so similar to the battle we see with Ethan and Jasko earlier on this race as well, which is great to see, of course. And Tinner's having really good luck this season. I mean, he had a win in the feature race. He likes long races, doesn't he, Evil?
Indeed. This is, he likes these long races, Tennis. Of course, he's endurance driver, of course. He won. Yeah, he won, I think, last time as well, actually. And, or was it one of them, someone else? I can't. Byraxa, I think it was. One of them, Byraxa or Tennis, won the Endurance League. I think it was Byraxa, if I'm not too mistaken. He's battling with Jasmine up there, but, always, these top two drivers proving themselves to be good. Partner doing a good job right now in third. Ahead of Jasko is also in the Endurance League. So all these top four are in the Endurance League, if I'm not too mistaken. They are top four in this race. Conspiracy? I think not. Right now. Well, meanwhile, down the back, Esther hasn't got himself a penalty. Vetro's not going spinning recently as well, so everything's going well for everyone. No spinners right now, as far as I've seen. No one's stopped on the circuit anywhere, so no mistakes. Just everyone carrying on doing what they can do, Jason. Well, I mean, not a lot I've got to talk about, so we always got to look out. And what do you think has been the best season so far in GT3?
Oh, I don't know. I think my first season of Season 10 was pretty much memorable because obviously there was great battles there as well. I'm talking about my own perspective because obviously I did a bit of I think mostly I did a Xbox One, but yeah, Season 10 was a lot of fun because it was quite intense. The championship was quite close as well, even though it was mainly two drivers that were dominating it. It was quite a few people were dominating the midfield. Season 11 was pretty good as well, despite the bugs, but I can't remember. There was one season which had a really good calendar, but there was one season, well, there was one race which had the Xbox glitch, which was Nordschleife, so we couldn't commentate most of that. I think we disconnected around lap 6 or 7, but yeah, it's got to be the first season I ever commentated, Evil, Season 10. That is my all-time favourite season I've commentated in AOR. What about you, Evil? I'll ask you the same.
Well, I mean, I've commentated a long while now. I've commentated since Season 9? I'm going to say Season 9. We're in Season 15.
I thought Season 8. I thought you started in Season 8.
Season 8? Season 9? Yes, I think it was Season 8. I can't remember. It's been too long. I can't remember. I'm an old horse in AOR now commentating, but I always have good fond memories. The first race I commentated on was 2017, I think, early March 2017, I think. So
that is a long time. I mean,
three and a bit years ago.
Oh, we didn't celebrate the anniversary of you commentating. We should have done it in endurance, really, but we just didn't bother.
No, we forgot. Well, never mind. Onwards and upwards, but I still haven't got my AOR cake either from it. But you know, I remember vividly. Good battle. It was at
oh boy, Rax is in the grass.
Can't see got blow, but good battle between a Lamborghini and a Mercedes. Actually, it was my full memory back then. Oh no.
Oh no! Not another disconnect.
No, you do it. No, not this time. No, not gonna happen. Didn't happen. Didn't see it. It's fabricated reality. Didn't see the lack. Byraxa, don't disconnect on me, mate. Don't you disconnect on me. We need a good race. 45 out of 66. I'm losing the will to mentality right now. But battle going on between second and first. Third place meanwhile catching up. He's only 5 seconds away. He's about the same paces right now. So we could have a bit of a battle going on right now. Though I say how all this is going right now. Tinus with a 2-second penalty right now. Beat your daddy with that 31-second penalty from earlier on. I think Byrax has got a good chance of passing. It should be not too difficult. The Lamborghini lost slower in a straight line. That Mercedes, not by as much as people remember though. It's about 3-4 kilometers an hour when they get down to it, of course. So chuck it down into turn number 1. Then on the brakes there.
Oh, Vetro!
Vetro's doing some grass cutting in the Ferrari. The new lawnmower Ferrari from Ferrari. Right now, oh, that's brave. I thought it was having a look at the inside then. The Mercedes hunting. Is he going to have a lunge up the inside? He won't do it there. He'll end up punting the old car off. He's too careful. Gets the car back. Can he try anything? Nope, not this time around. Just has to sit back for the time being. And let's see. Is there any way through? That is the inside. Is it the outside? Well, he won't get the inside here. The Lamborghini's starting to struggle in these colder temperatures. It only really worked on those hard tyres. And right now, I think the circuit's got so cold right now, the Mercedes is just coming alive. Remember, it often does come alive for later on in the races. It's very quick on its tyres. And is Lamborghini struggling? The Lamborghini's very loose on the rear end, might I add, as better just sitting a little bit further back as well. And I've heard news that Skoda is going to be leaving the Ginetta from the next race. So Team Shed's been burned down by the sounds of it. There's been a fire in the shed and it's gone wrong. But right now, what about the fire in the factories? Because right now we've got a battle between Mercedes and Lamborghini. Let's see, is Boyrax going to have Alonso up the inside? Tennis is going to go defend then on the inside. His Boyrax are going to go around the outside. That's going to be brave. He's going to be brave. Does he sit him? No, he sits back for the time being. Has just to stay on the rear. Big twitch there. Ooh. Now, is he going to have a look on the inside? Again, has to just sit behind him. As he comes down towards turn number 3, the left-hander. Now, is he alongside? Has he got a nice exit then? Let's see. Tennis is going to cover the inside again. Just moves slightly. No way through on this lap. We're on that 47 of 66. Right now, just over an hour into this race, over 30 minutes roughly to go. And a battle between first and second position in this race. Third place starting a cat ever so slightly as well. Well, we waited our dues, Jess. We had a few people disconnecting. I disconnected as well, but now we're back, and now we've got a battle on our hands. As long as nothing bad happens.
This is more like it, Evil. I mean, we wanted to see battles like this, and we are actually seeing it. So a good job to Boyrax and obviously Tiddus as well. This could potentially be a battle for the win, but don't forget Tiddus has got that penalty that is looming under his head right now. So at the moment, Boyrax will be leading this race. So Boyrax will need to be clear of Tiddus if he can get past him, of course. But he is finding it a little bit trickier to get past Tiddus, and obviously you don't want to make battles too easy. Let's see if Boyrax can go past turn number 1. No, he cannot. He stays behind for the time being, as the lap times from them was Boyrax was a bit slow on pace at the moment, but he is getting good on the corners. Look at this. He's doing
lunge him. Oh, he thought about that lane. Decided against it, because if he tried that lane, I think poor old Titus might have been in a different county, but he got a bad exit now around the outside. That's going to be brave. Side by side. They bang. Bang, bang, bang. He's off the road. He's off. Into the grass. And Titus, fighting spirit from the bull. And the Mercedes there has been rather bumbled off the road. And he's not going to be happy about that. He's going to be absolutely furious about that one there. And you know what? Polly's catching up in this side. You know what? Tinnus, doing a good job. Keep battling hard, because you're going to get a freeway in a minute. And I always like a free swim up the top. As long as it's not too bad. As long as it's not... Oh, whereas I just said. Never mind. Byraxer in second position. He's in a sandwich. He's in a very weird sandwich of Lamborghinis. It's an Italian sandwich and the Germans stuck in the middle. Just like World War II. But nevertheless, Tinnus, so far, up there in first. Doing an okay job. Papado catching in third. Not a lot of action going on further back, meanwhile. We've got Jaska getting caught by Leonardo ever so slightly, 2 seconds a lap. We've got Gaza in 6th doing a very lonely job there. Tofino in 7th. Big Kid Daddy in 8th for his 30 million second penalty, I might add, on top. Essa struggling at the back, and Vector, who is not having the best of times in that Ferrari right now. But up front, Boyraxa, he's now got to do it all over again.
Yep, I think so. I mean, he is starting to catch a little bit more, so maybe the race is not over for Boyrax's side of things. But another guy to watch out for, Papano. You can almost just about to see him in the same camera shot, so, you know, but again, Papano has a penalty and Boyraxa does not. So, you know, I think Boyrax will be alright at this stage, but as long as he can close in, he should be absolutely fine. You could already see that his lap times, last lap, wasn't quite the best due to that contact these two drivers have had a moment ago, of course. But, you know, mistakes happen. It looked like a racing incident to me by the looks of things. No damage, I think, caused by both of the drivers, which is good news as them to stay out. So, no harm done from both P1 and P2 of this race so far. So, no dominant car, as I would like to say, but Mercedes are doing a lot better than I thought in second, and we got Lambo 1-3 by the looks of things. I know Papano is in a Lambo as well, and so is Jasko. So Yeah, we're not seeing many Mercs in this race at the moment, are we? I think the top 5 is mainly dominated by Mercs. And then by Mercs, by Lambos.
Yeah, 2nd and 6th is the only Mercedes. Then we've got Lambo, and then the Ginetta, and then the Ferrari. So only 2. No, basically this entire grid is full of Lamborghinis right now, might I add.
I'm not surprised.
Full of Mercedes, might I say. Last season was a Mercedes dominant season, really. Right now, it is the complete opposite, and I suppose it's flipped the season on its head, however. It's made for some questionable track choices, I might say. I mean, the LSR was definitely a circuit not suited, especially here, especially with the conditions. Of course, it might have been a good circuit in a smaller car, but definitely wasn't really optimal in these GT cars. Ruapuna, of course, it has provided okay racing before. I remember a couple of seasons ago it provided an okay race. Of course, that was in the wet mind, of course. We have still got Monaco to come ahead of us, so
I can't wait for that. I can't wait. It's going to be fun.
Well, let's see what happens. If we saw how hard overtaking is going to be around its circuit, well, let's wait for Monaco and let's just see which one of us ends up questioning mentality. I mean, what? Is Boyraxer close enough to have a little lunge up the inside again? He's 2 temps. I don't think he's going to go up the inside for the time being, though. I think he's just going to sit back. Just relax. Just pester Boyraxer. Just try and find an opportunity. Just, you know, get under his skin. Just try and force him into a mistake. If you force that Lamborghini into a mistake, remember those red tyres can heat up very quickly. It is a charging ball, and the Mercedes is very good on its tyres occasionally when it wants to be. All right now, Tinus still leads this race. We're ready because he's struggling there because good exit on those corners. Boyraxer in 2nd position, but closing all the time. Good on the brakes as well, might I say. But takes a little bit too much brake into that corner, loses him time. Right now, he just needs to just try and hook onto the back of him, just keep him about 2 temps. If he can get about 2 temps down into this last corner, I think he's got a good chance of passing him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that is a chance where he can do it. And to be honest, will he wait until the last 5 or so minutes of this race, or will he get the move done now? If I was Tinus, I would try and stretch up the gap as much as he can. But obviously, we know Boyraxer, he is quick as well in his car, of course. But I was obviously Ruapuna was another season I commentated on where it was in season 10, and that was when the Lambos it was a Lambo dominated season, as it were, as well. So you see, Boyraxer, oh my god, Boyraxer was going to go for the lunge for a minute there, both keeping it clean, no contact there, unlike a few laps ago, of course. As Tin is making a slight mistake there, a bit of a slide, but that is how hard these conditions are. Of course, you know, you need to be on the power a bit later than normal, because otherwise you're going to end up sliding. And of course, they are allowed traction control in these cars. Obviously, they are GT3, so they can choose to have it run or not. By looks of things, I think both of these drivers have traction control on. Jasko doesn't, though. Jasko doesn't.
Not quite a lot of drivers don't use the traction control, of course. It's quicker out the corners, get more power down, of course. And these bunch cars, of course, you get away with a lot running less traction control in ETE cars compared to like the of course, where you really have to run traction control. Because if you don't, well, let's just say it doesn't end well, apparently, from what I've seen. Yeah,
I could back you up on that one, Evil, because I tried running the GT3s without traction control on ACC, and yeah, it just don't go there, to be honest. It didn't go too well. It's a lot of fun. It's coming to consoles in the middle of June, which I'm really excited about because I have it on PC at the moment, and I strongly recommend you get it because it's made brilliant. Boyraxer was looking like he was going to go for a move again, but he has not. Beautiful views in this circuit, actually, as well, which is great to see. So even though we may not be seeing much race from the midfield, they still get to witness the beautiful views at Ruapuna Park in New Zealand. So that's great to see. I would like to go on a holiday there in New Zealand. That would be quite fun, actually. I know my friend lives in New Zealand now. Actually, no, he used to. Now he started living in the UK, and then he used to live in New Zealand for a bit. Now he lives in Japan, so he's all over the place at the moment. But, you know, he's kind of like a world traveller, as it were. But we are pretty much 13 or 14 laps to go of this Ruapuna GP, and it is the top 2 where positions could change, and more about these guys. Ruapuna may come back back into this, but we shall see. Obviously 10 drivers, we lost 5 drivers in this race already. Obviously we've lost another one, obviously due to Andy not coming to this race today. And we could see another battle evil in the midfield, as I was saying. I thought there wasn't, but there is. So reverse psychology seems to be working for me, Evil. I'm quite happy about that.
Yeah, reverse psychology working. Meanwhile, these two still together. Mine up front, 3 attempts to gap, no opportunity to come through for a lunge. Still trying it. He needs to just get alongside. He needs to just try and dive him and really just hope for the best right now. If he wants to get past, we've got a lap traffic up the road. I'm wondering, is that
Asa, maybe?
of Big Daddy? It's Big Daddy, yeah, yes. So the Lamborghini. Is he going to help his other brethren Lamborghini? Yeah, it's a very difficult area of the circuit. If they catch him, but the looks of it, they'll catch him probably in the middle sector around about a couple of the laps, maybe. It'll be very difficult if they do.
Yep, I think so.
Yeah, Byraxa still in second position. As I just have a look straight of my drink. Wondering if I do sound a little bit out of breath sometimes. I do have my wisdom tooth coming through. Which, if you don't have a wisdom tooth coming through, it hurts really badly. And
it does. It does.
So speaking hurts me sometimes. Well, Tinus, 3 attempts up the road. Byraxa second, closing. Not going to have a look upside this lap, of course, a little bit too far back. Yet again, it's going to be a trend right now. They get so close to each other. And the only place he's going to do it is going to be down into this hairpin, I reckon. Yes, it's the only overtaking opportunity really, unless you've got mega pace down the straight, you're going to come through.
Yeah, I mean, Byraxa is the one who takes a lot of risks, and the rest that he does really does help him quite a lot. I mean, he is a good driver for a reason, and has shown really good pace as well, obviously. And we've seen Gaza and Byraxa worked really well together in the last race at Ruin Let Us Up, but obviously Gaza is down in 6th place and Raxa is in 2nd, so they're spread out at the moment, but obviously Gaza running his own race right now. He's got a clean air in front of him and clean air behind him, so he's got nothing to worry about at the moment, but you know, I mean, there's not much difference between the top 2. We can see Jask and Leonardo still battling as well. We just saw a glimpse of that, and there's also Vector being lapped as well, as he's considerably down. He must be struggling every lap, but he's matching quite a bit on pace right now compared to the bottom guy, so he's getting there at least, which is great to see. But here comes Byraxa then. Is he going to try and go for the lunge again? Oh, this is really tight. It's really tight.
He's getting close, but again, it's no real opportunity to come through, Jez. It's too narrow. If this is a wider circuit like Silverstone, there's a real opportunity to come through. The only place he's going to do it if he lunges him. He has to lunge him, but he's not going to do it yet because, again, Tinus is brave. He knows that if he's going to go around the outside, he'll just squeeze him wide. Is Vicky Daddy. Good job, my friend, getting out well out of the way of that one there. Behind them, 4 seconds, dropping back a bit by bit right now is Papano. But these two, I think they're going to take it down to the grave right now. This is going to be all or nothing. If these guys end up taking each other off, Papano could end up winning this race. And by the looks of it, they're trying to take chunks off the rear diffuser right now, the Lamborghini. The Mercedes is sniffing him up the rear. And I'm always saying, Lamborghinis are bulls. And the Mercedes right now is definitely trying to be an animal in itself. Sniffing around. Let's see if he can try and find an opportunity. He needs a good exit through this last corner. He needs to stay with him. He needs to be within about 0.2 of a second. He is around that 0.2 of a second. Now, he has to try and dummy him. He'll have to go to the left and try and go to the right, or vice versa. Because if he moves, he's going to be all over. He gets the inside line then. Is Byraxa going to get the lunge up the inside? Finally, into the end of this race. Has he gone deep? The answer to that is no. He's got it stopped on his marks then. Byraxa, finally, good exit for the last corner. Leaves here in New Zealand. Then finally, we've got the overtake we needed. And now can Tinus try and come back again, though. Tinus, we know, is very brave on the brakes, but Byraxa, I think, has been rather held up the last couple of laps.
Yep, I think so. He's now got to concentrate of making sure he keeps Tinus behind for the foreseeable future until the end of this race. You can see that he's already starting to increase his pace. I mean, Tinus was defending for his life, but somehow Byraxa got past him, and that was a great battle from those two. I think the battle of the stream so far from these two. So fair play to both of them as well. But Tinnis is still going to score some points, but he's going to hang in there, I think. He's not going to give up, Evil, because I know that he's going to hope that a few drivers might make a few mistakes, which might bring Tinnis back into this race victory. But we'll see anyway. Hopefully no more accidents, because we don't want that to happen, of course, as both of these drivers are about to start lap 38 of this race.
58, yes.
58. What am I on about? Oh my god.
Doing me.
I'm doing a me. I only got a C in maths. I was hoping for a B in maths, but I didn't get a B.
We'll talk about what I got in maths.
Yeah, no. Let's not talk about that. No. Anyway, let's talk about some more potential. So we got Essa in 9th place. So he's I think going to stay in 9th. He's doing well without penalties. I think fair play to Essa. It's not going to make a difference anyway, because obviously the ones with penalties is a bit either too far behind or too far in front to make a better difference right now. But you can see Leonardo is doing very well. He's they were so close together, these two, but at the moment they're, he's trying to pull that gap. The Lambos are impressing me today, and Leonardo obviously also came up from tier 2, and another tier 2 driver that has impressed me with no end so far.
Jessica as well doing an okay job. Behind him we got Defino, also tier 2 a few seasons ago. Vetro, tier 1 driver, not having any luck right now in the throw. I expect he might change that car coming soon, because it doesn't look like it's working for him. It can work some races. It's been a proven car. I think this season though, Jess, especially his first couple of races, it's definitely not been a Ferrari season so far. It's been a season really just dominated by the Lamborghinis so far, but right now Mercedes are the one, still setting the benchmarks by Raxa, going for that back-to-back championship, of course. Won it last time, can you do it 2 times in a row? I think the first time a double champion can happen in the same car, of course, and if he does win the championship in that car would have won the last 5 championships in a row, because it won the one before this, it won before that, and I think it won the 2 before that as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it did. So, yeah.
Yeah, of course, here's the Schmidt, and in fact ran that car in season 11 or 12, if I'm not too mistaken. Of course, I think that was 13. No, 13, I think someone else won. 14, 15, confusing my brain. 14 was last season. I don't know what my brain's on about. 14 by Raxa won, 13 Gazza won, 12 Schmidt won. So it'd be 4th different championship, but I believe potentially the one before that. I can't remember who won the championship. It was that long ago. But Tinnis, 2nd position, he's getting caught by Papano quite quickly right now. Has he been pushing too hard on those tyres, Jess? Has those tyres gone away? That's always a possibility. We're on that number 60 then, of 66, meaning we've still got 60 odd laps still to go ahead of the drivers.
60 laps? You mean 6 laps?
6 laps, there was a 6th somewhere, but Leonardo doing okay in 4th. He's covering off Jasco by some 2 and a bit second. The partner right now in 3rd position in this race, still closing up to Tinnis right now. A few brake boards being kicked up somewhere across the side. Someone's gone for a few spins around there, but on a circuit which is provided saying not been good overtaking. We've seen, what, maybe 3-4 overtakes so far, Jess, really? Not really had many overtakes at all. Only really overtakes have been through drivers spinning or making mistakes or collisions, of course.
Yeah, by the looks of things, that's what it was, Evil. But the only major overtakes, which I think was good, was Raxa and Tinnis as well. And we could see another one potentially. Where did that pace come from Papano? It must be that Tinnis has made a mistake somehow, or Papano is just very, very quick. I think Tinnis has made a bit of a mistake, because his last lap time was a 122.2, whereas Papano 120.1. I mean, Papano must be loving this right now. I'm gonna forget about penalties because I don't want to ruin this moment. We could see. I think Tinnis has been very unlucky with the battles recently. Oh, they're even. They're even. It is 4th position. That is good news. Papano is now 4 tenths behind Tinnis. He's not going to make the move yet. He's not that close enough at this stage, but he could do very, very soon. The crowd are cheering. They're hoping for more battles here in New Zealand. It looks like we are going to get another one. So fingers crossed these guys can deliver. All this battling, of course, is allowing Raxa to really increased the gap by quite some margin. I think I've got to agree with you, Evil. I think he was held up by Tinnis there. You can tell by the laps that Boy Raxa is producing right now.
Yeah, Mercedes, I think right now what's happened is Tinnis is overheating those tyres. You can see that how much sliding it is in that car. Lamborghini not looking good. Pano, a little bit twitchy, might I say, from the connection side of things. Of course, due to we can't blame Project Cars for anyone's disconnections right now. Of course, the servers are being rather overloaded on PS4 right now. Of course, due to all the situations and the ongoing. Well, we're not going to say it because copyright. We might get flagged for something, so we're not going to say it. But real world stuff. Of course, I hope if everyone's doing well, of course, in this watching, of course, and hope everyone is safe and staying indoors, like we are in the commentary box right now. And well, right now I could very much do running around right now because my legs are hurting because I've been sitting on them for a while. But Pano, so far, still stuck behind right now, and I think this is going to be more of an even fight than it was with Boy Raxa. Two cars similar on pace, similar on tyres, similar cars. Well, not just similar cars, they are the same car. And Pano, everything is original with him apart from the car that is ahead of him, which is identical, of course. And right now, apart from the livery, which is slightly different, of course, lime green racing machine, really lagging. Oh dear.
Oh no, Papano!
Seems a bit troublesome. No, I say when a bit twitchy and there's a bit of lag and servers are troubling. Well, let's not curse it, but let's not say it. Let's look at.
Let's not talk about disconnections, Evil, because you might have more drivers disconnecting if you're not careful.
Gaza, meanwhile, he's not got a penalty. How much did Jasko got? 5 seconds. So Gaza right now might be so 8 series. So right now I think he's in around about 4th position because Leonardo's got a penalty and Jasko's got a penalty as well. So Gaza right now running in, I think, 4th position overall. Down the back of the field, we've got 32 seconds right now for Big Kid Daddy. So he's, I'm not sure how he's got that penalty exactly. Legal overtake, I think, gives a 30-second penalty. So he must have overtaken somebody who's spun and has got the penalty. Meanwhile, Papano having a little look up the inside. Won't do it there, of course, as he gets darker and darker right there on the circuit. Very beautiful right now. Is he going to have a lunge up the inside, I wonder? Is he close enough? He thinks about it, but decides better of that. And you can see the rear end really stepping out for the pair of them as Papano has a bit too sideways there. I was about to say Tim's sideways, but Papano, you know what? Papano think evil, you know what? Yeah, I'm seeing you're talking about the tennis going sideways. You know what? I could do it better. And decides to put a welly on and that V12, I think, is the engine in that car, if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head. I can't remember. Is it a V12? I think it might be a V12. It's a Lamborghini, of course it is. But it's big, it's loud, it's beautiful, and it's an engine. It makes noise, and it's quick. Well, meanwhile, Jasko, Gaza, Leonardo. That's the battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Really, it's going to be the battle between no one because everyone's got penalties apart from Gaz. As long as Gaz doesn't get a penalty, it should be okay. We're on lap 64 of 66 in this race, and we're continuing to get towards the end. Yes, we've got 2 and a bit laps to go of this 64 laps down. 2 to go in a bit.
Yep, indeed, and this race is far from over. It is not over, Evil, until the checkered flag falls, so we'll have to wait and see what happens, of course, but we don't want any last minute dramas happening, so hopefully they can keep it clean. Here comes Papano then. He's going to try. Nope, he's not going to make a move around the outside. He's going to try it to at least. I mean, Papano taking a lot of risks today, and this is going very well for him so far, but it's allowing it's not good.
He's got no pace on that rear.
Yeah, he's got no grip at all on his tyres. You can see Papano really starting to chase him in these final couple of laps. You can see the way that Tinnis is skidding quite a bit on the track as well. You know, I think he may have I think it might have been he pitted too early or something like that. And
nah, it's overheating, Jess. The tyres can last the entire race. So what's happened, I think, he pushed those tyres too much and they've just gone to a point where they've got no grip left on them, of course. Once you reach it, it's almost like a cliff, of course. Tyres haven't gone off, and they haven't got to the cliff you hear in F1 where they've gone down to the tread. It's just, they've got to a point where they've just got no grip out there. It's like they're almost driving on wet tyres on a dry circuit. They're overheating, there's no grip. When that happens. You get a grip. That's late on the brakes. Is it? That was very late on the brakes there. I mean, Papano's... He's getting very feisty right now. You know what? I reckon he's going to have a lunge into the corner if he doesn't end up wiping the car out ahead of him. You know what?
Oh my god! And he's touched and he's
Oh my god! Oh god! And oh my dear god! And oh dear. And
Oh,
well,
I think I jinxed that, Evil.
That's oh dear.
He's out. We're down to 9 drivers.
You know what? I'm not surprised for that one. Well, you know what? He's not going to get a good exit. Well, he got a bit too good of exit, might I say. And
oh, I shouldn't have said about drama. I mean, I should have done reverse I should have done reverse psychology there, but you know, I didn't there. But wow, luckily other drivers did not caught up with that, because otherwise we would have seen a few more retirements. But that means though the positions are pretty much going to stay as they are until the end of this race. As I was saying, Buivaxa is starting his final lap of this race, and Tinnis about to cross the line, start his final lap as well. This was probably the biggest flip I've ever seen in my life, to be honest. That nearly gave me a heart attack there.
Well, that was definitely well, we'll just say that was very dramatic.
Speechless, Evil. You were speechless.
I've never seen that. Well, I mean, that was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. I hope he's okay. If he had a wheel, that would have hurt very badly on a wheel.
He would have been in hospital. He would have been in hospital, that's for sure.
Yeah, hopefully it hasn't hurt his hand, of course. Because I presume he let go of the wheel. But a flip like that, just hit the rear and then just dug in? I don't really know what happened there. But, well, I mean, Leonardo's on the podium. Well, no, Gaz is on the podium, actually. My apologies. Gaz is going to get a podium out of this.
Wow.
So, somehow, due to fatal accident, might I say, insert quote there, Buivaxa is going to win this race. I think Tin has probably just witnessed some shock behind him, but Buivaxa through the last corner, he can gloat all he wants, he can go slow it down, he can reverse cross line if he wants to. He wins here in New Zealand, he wins down under. Tinnis through the last corner. Well, could have his rival Capada have got him? The answer will never be known, because Capada right now is in the Never Realm. Tinnis, second position. Finishes there. Leonardo will be the next cross the line, but it won't be Leonardo to finish there, because Gaza will get that position just about by just a little bit of positions. They're going to factor the last corner for someone going slowly. That's because everyone's finished up ahead. Leonardo, third position. They won't finish there because Gaza will finish in third. So Gaza, well done to him. Podium yet again for him. I'm just checking. Yes, it was. So
Vetro finishes as well. Vetro's in 9th place. He's in 9th place.
Yeah, we did get 9th due to others' mistakes. We're just waiting, I think, right now for Defino. And who else are we waiting for? Resso? Is it S we're waiting for? Yes, we are waiting for Resso for what was a very a dramatically anticlimactic finish, might I say.
And we're upside down again.
Yes, and someone dying painfully. Buivaxa wins here in Ruapuna then from Tinnis in second. Gaza in third. Leonardo from Just Cool in 5th position. Defino in 6th. They had a Big Kid Daddy in 7th. S at 8th. Vectro 9th. Papano 10th after that spectacular off at the end of that race. Ethan in 11th. Skull 12th. Fogarty in 13th. Two did not finish the course disconnect. That was Wolf and Jazzman, and of course Andy did not show due to unforeseen circumstances as well. But Jess, what a dramatic finish, might we say, for all the wrong reasons.
that made me jump, to be honest, Evil. But it was nice to see a battle with Tinnis and Buivaxa for a little bit as well, and that led to Buivaxa taking the win, and that was very well deserving from the Mercedes driver, of course, and that's really going to help him in the team's championship as well, as they extend their lead in the championship. So well done to Gather and Maxa Racing as well. So obviously Skull will change his car to from I wonder, has he told you what car he's going to change to, or hasn't he decided yet?
I'm going to keep that to himself. He told me what car he's thinking of. I'm going to keep that to myself.
That is a good idea, I think, Evil. We don't want other people to know. So, are we going to get drivers in for interviews? I don't think so. So I think we need to wrap this up, people.
That we do. Well, what a dramatic finish to this race, then. Drama, excitement, processional race, maybe some might say. Well, I definitely could say so. But until next week, Jess, I'll let you finish the lot.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Evil. So next week we will be, like we said earlier, we will be at the Hockenheim in Germany, which I am looking forward to. I know Evil is looking forward to as well. I hope you all look forward to it as well. And we'll be back to the standard qualifying session at the beginning, and obviously the 1 hour race back to normal GT3 standard. I think the drivers will be relieved about that, and I can't remember what's next after Hockenheim, but we'll find out for you next week. But make sure you stay tuned for the Hockenheim race next week. But until now, I've been Jess Games 95. Evil has been Evil Dragon XXL, and have a good evening. Make sure you stay home and stay safe, and see you same time at 8 PM for Hockenheim. Have a good evening and good night.